Kennedy is endangering the lives of countless
No matter
Americans.
how much fear mongering.
Okay, so my fear mongering is going to be done with math, science, and history.
This is for educational and entertainment purposes only.
Hello, and welcome to the Think Tank. We'll use critical thinking, deductive reasoning, just a pinch of common sense to draw the unbiased and logical conclusions. Please, if you enjoy this content, help us boost ourselves in the algorithm. We're trying to get to at least 100,000 subscribers, and you can help us and help us to bring these messages from both sides. Even though I'm not Republican or Democrat or even conservative, I'm an independent. I bring the Democratic point of view while Dion brings the MAGA point of view, even though he's not Republican, he's conservative. And these are discussions that we need to have that we don't have too often without people biting each other's heads off. And you can be a part of this and really analyze what's going on. Become part of the critical thinking community. We're here live every Sunday, 9 p.m. to talk to you so that you can come, comment, tell us your thoughts. If you leave a comment in the comment section, we always get back. It might take a couple of days. We respond to everybody. We want to grow our community. Please help us out. Today, we're here to talk about how we're going to make America healthy again. And in my opinion, the things that are happening that are not making America healthy again. So I'm going to allow MAHA and MAGA Representative the Honorable Dion Powell introduce himself so that we can have this discussion. Dion?
I'm glad you said that because I'm one of the people that started when the merger happened. MAHAGA, Make America Healthy and Great Again. What's good, family? I'm District Leader Dion Powell of the Bronx Third Party, consultant and community organizer. I am also, full disclosure, as they say, asterisk, the former National African American Affairs Director for American Values 2024, which was a super PAC, hybrid PAC, supporting Robert F. Kennedy's run for president. So I can speak about this realm at great length.
Well, I have a few things about this realm. So Robert F. Kennedy wants to get rid of certain vaccinations. This is something that I'm sorry. Well, I could speak about this in great length. When Robert F. Kennedy was running for or trying to get the position, people like me were terrified because we looked, and not that I could predict the future, but I like to use common sense, study history, and see where things are going. We knew that what he was going to do was attack vaccinations because that was his entire goal. It has been for longer than I've been alive, I think. So we knew that as soon as he got into office, he was going to get rid of experts and doctors and people that can read and write and know math and science and medical experts and replace them with a bunch of kooks who was going to say vaccinations were bad and it would have caused all life's troubles and autism and blah, 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 blah. And MAGA was like, no, he's not going to do that. He's going to do the science. He's going to follow the science. And somehow what appears to happen was he didn't follow the science. He got rid of all of the experts, replaced them with kooks. And now diseases like the whooping cough are starting to spread. Things like, he's like, yo, well, if you eat right, you'll be all right. Just eat right and exercise. Do pull-ups at the airport, and you won't have to worry about bacterial diseases, which now I'm not a doctor, but from my meager understanding of bacteria, if you have a bacterial infection, the only way to get rid of it is with something that fights bacteria. Your body can't fight bacteria by itself. You have to have an antibiotic. Now, there are natural antibiotics, but nonetheless, you need an antibiotic. Now, some of these things are deadly diseases. Some things that, like RSV, that need to be prevented, that are things that attack children, that the vaccinations can prevent and save countless children and babies' lives. Taking away the vaccinations is introducing or taking away the mandate for vaccinations.
Thank you. Use that word, mandate.
Is leaving room for children to be exposed to these deadly diseases. And that means that we will have a spread of deadly diseases like the whooping cough, which is now spreading in America because people are not vaccinated. And this will lead to many, many deaths. But despite facts and science and history, MAGA still is like, no, we don't want the mandate. We don't care if people die. I don't know how they feel. Dion, why don't you explain?
Well, family, there are times when the media has to admit Kenny is right, he makes sense, but they have an agenda out, as you can clearly see, to make sure the man looks totally discredited. Now, we all know that that big pharma actually pushes a lot of these things on this country, and we've gotten unhealthier progressively. That's a fact. We all agreed that removing certain dyes and chemicals from foods would make us healthier. So Kenny is onto something. But when it comes to the vaccine schedule, if I can, okay, well, I can't share my screen. I got a request. So when it comes to the vaccine schedule, Kenny, that's how he started his journey, believes that babies shouldn't be vaccinated for 16 times through the vaccine schedule. Now, I would share this vaccine schedule with you, but they removed the hepatitis B from the vaccine schedule. Now, what I'm about to show you, family, here is the vaccine schedule from birth all the way up to 15 months. And look at all these needles your baby has to take. Does that make sense, family? All this toxic injections. Some of the injections have mercury in them. And then it gets worse when you get older, from 18 months on up. They still sticking needles on you and making people unsick. However, Kennedy's like, no, no, no. With proper diet and exercise, vitamins and minerals, some of these ailments that we're having now these days can be rectified without all these needles. And I'll end with, because I'd be remiss, one of the things that got MAHA in uproar during 2020 and the 2021 lockdown were the COVID vaccines. So as you can see, the news is coming out, Leo, that, hey, maybe these COVID mandatory vaccines do cause possible adult deaths. Now that Kenny's in charge and FDA is under his umbrella, we are looking into it and we're asking plenty of questions and plenty of research. Oh, and by the way, he did update the website to say, hey, vaccines causing autism wasn't really scientifically explored in the first place. So they can't say or not say that vaccines cause autism. Then I'll bring that up. I'll let you comment now, Leo.
Well, I'll start with the last thing. It also wasn't proven in any way, shape, or form that vaccines do cause autism. He tried to blame Tylenol, and he had to walk that back because he just literally made it up. He literally made it up. He literally made it up. Like, he made up, don't take vaccines don't take Tylenol because it causes autism. He literally is making up, like, facts and putting them out there to the public as if he's making up facts. This is a scary man. He's literally making up facts. Tylenol should be a red flag for anyone with any type of common sense. But there's other things. Let's talk about the vaccine schedule, since that's what we're here to discuss. And the fact that Kennedy makes up facts should be something that we use as a base when we're talking about the vaccine schedule. So let's talk about the vaccine schedule. There are things in the vaccine schedule that do not make sense. The only one that I can concur with is the hepatitis B. But then you have the measles, mumps, and rubella. There's a lot of stuff there that you need to have, because if you don't have it, then you're making a public vulnerable to deadly diseases.
Yes, but you see, Kennedy's point, once again, you said in your opening statement, was mandatory. He's going to let it be up to you and your doctor to decide whether you should have it injected. For example, religious exemptions are coming back as well. So if you feel as though your faith says you shouldn't have that prick, then you don't have to have it. Whereas before, under the previous administration, it's mandated. Your child can't go to school unless they're vaccinated for these things. Or it's mandated at birth, and the doctors put the pressure on the woman that's after dropping the baby to have all these needles in the baby, which can be cause to autism, some suspect.
So
Mandate.
because a quack that makes up diagnoses like Tylenol is saying something like,
What diagnosis? You're not supposed to drink while pregnant. It's simple.
is making up diagnoses like, oh, well, autism is caused by Tylenol. Because this quack with no medical training whatsoever is making up diagnoses to back up his theories. We should not protect our children. The mandate is to protect everybody. I think that that's something common sense.
Well, guess what the common sense in Kennedy is? He said the same exact thing you just did about SNAP benefits, aka food stamps. He is trying to remove certain candies and unhealthy drinks from being able to be paid for with SNAP benefits. And his retort was, when people came to him and said, hey, food doesn't have to be healthy for SNAP to pay for it, he said, yes, it does, because the N in SNAP stands for what? Nutrition. Good old Kennedy, always getting them.
Kennedy is endangering the lives of countless Americans.
No matter how much fear mongering.
Okay, so my fear mongering is going to be done with math, science, and history. Three kryptonites for the MAGA party, or the MAHA party. The kryptonite, math, science, and history. So the whooping cough is back.
Okay.
When Kennedy started, we had other ailments that were coming in that was spreading that we need vaccinations for. Like, who wants to go through measles and mumps? Like, they're not going to kill you, but they'll leave you literally scarred for life. Now, I happen to agree we need to get to the base of what's causing autism. Because autism has...
Kennedy, because he's down with Trump, right?
I believe that we should have medical experts looking into it.
He does.
Not quacks, not people with preconceived notions of what's causing it that are only going to find facts that support what they're looking for and not look at the real facts. It's Tylenol, for instance. Like,
you have a point there, Leo, but keep in mind, we were supposed to be against a big pharma and the big pharma lobby, so Kennedy's taking them on. So it must be a good thing, right?
His resolution doesn't appear to be the best resolution for the health of the American people, especially our children. Now, taking certain dyes out of food, I 150% support that. If we know scientifically, and it's been proven through science, which it has before Kennedy was even in office, that these things are carcinogens, which means cause cancer or cause ailments, and he came in and he said, well, we're going to take that out. How could I not support that? The science backs it up. These are logical decisions. I support that 150% when Kennedy does things that are logical based on math, science, and history. So there are some things that Kennedy's doing that I completely support. There are other things that he's doing which have no base in, are not rooted in science, math, and historical fact. These things I challenge. Now, being on one side, you are supporting 100% of everything, while being in the middle and not on either side, I can call it down the middle and say, well, this is good and this is bad.
Okay.
Being that I can actually do that, perhaps that neutral stance gives me a more objective opinion. Objectively speaking, blanket removal of mandates for diseases that will kill children, that will unalive babies, might not be the smartest thing. If my kid has a high fever that I'm trying to bring down, I now am told not to use Tylenol. When the reality has proven that Tylenol is actually not what he said. So, how many babies didn't have their fever brought down because of this quack? Making up facts.
Well, guess what? The only people that
How
abuse it
many
is
children
Tyler.
might not be here right now because of this freaking quack?
Exactly. How many babies have been vaccinated that have stillborn birth, have died, infant mortality? That's what he's looking at from all these needles and babies after they just come out the womb. And mandatory again. All the people are fired for not taking the Dr. Fauci ouchie, which is now being proven to kill people. No mandatory. It's up to you and your doctor, your common sense, your research, ladies, especially that are pregnant. And that's it. No more force and coercion in the maternity wards.
See, now this is the thing where I'm talking about facts and science and history, and now I gotta add
So,
what is the word? Etymology and understanding
oh,
of basic facts, such as you can't be stillborn from shots that you're given as an infant, because stillborn means you're born unalive. So you're what you just said was they're giving shots to babies that are not alive. Like that's like what? Like the thing what? That is your
infant
argument because
mortality rate. That's a blanket statement. Infant mortality rate
no, you
and
literally
mandatory
said
vaccines.
you
I'll
literally said
take back that
stillborn.
one little thing and toss it over here. Let's look at infant
It
mortality
sounds
rates
like you're
and
fear mongering.
vaccines.
It sounds like you're fear mongering. Oh my gosh, shots in unborn babies. Like what? That's what you said. So see, and that's the fear mongering that comes from the right that I'm trying to address. That we do not know what's causing certain things, and MAGA and MAHA want us to just blanketly assume because Robert F. Kennedy says it's so, that is so, instead of going through science and trying to figure it out. There's something called the scientific method. And as a former biology teacher, it's something I studied just a smidgen. Now, I'm not an expert, but I looked at it here and there. I do not believe that Kennedy followed the scientific method with anything because when I did the scientific method, the stuff that he did doesn't match. Now, maybe he has a different scientific method when it's not based in science,
Well,
which is how he draws
it's
conclusions.
mandatory and the government having control over your body. So remember, my body, my choice. Kennedy's like, no, the government does not have a right to your body and telling it what to do. That's what he's very big on. Big government controlling your body and putting all those nanites in your neck or the back of the head.
Now we're using words like nanites. Fear mongering. Nobody's putting nanites in nobody. What are you talking about? Yo, see, and this is what MAHA does. I'm glad he's doing this so that y'all can see the reality. He's talking about science fiction. He's confusing science fiction for reality. This is what MAHA does. Like, yo, do not listen to these insane people. Why are you talking about nanites? What are you doing? Like, do you know what a nanite? Like, yo, you just say wild stuff. Unalive babies and nanites. Like, what? But this is the Kennedy regime. This is what we're fighting. So,
All these
yes.
conspiracy theories that long term turned out to be true. I just proved it to you with the COVID vaccine there on the New York Times and some other big periodicals saying, hey, linking to adult deaths. So we turned out long term to be right. These Kennedy crazies. Isn't that interesting?
Do you notice a spike in RSV and the flu and hospitalizations in New York and New Jersey?
Okay. It's flu season.
So, if there's a spike, now that the vaccination is not mandatory, do you think A plus B equals C, or wait, that's math. I can't use that. Hold on. Do you think that one might lead to the other?
No, because in New York, our medical system is fighting tooth and nail to stop Kennedy. So they're going to overcompensate with their vaccines and doubling down. So I
But
don't know
that's
how
not what's
Kennedy does
happening.
that.
That's not what's happening.
Well, it's not Kennedy's fault. I can tell you that much. It's New York City's health department's fault, which
It's not Kennedy's fault that the federal mandates are down and that people are not getting vaccinations and now the disease is up, even though
this
Kennedy's in
recently just
charge, even
happened.
though Kennedy's in charge of that.
You have to wait until next year, Leo. This hasn't really been fully implemented yet. And the hepatitis B vaccine has nothing to do with this kind of widespread illness. It's flu
We're
season.
not
That's the
talking
way it
about
is.
hepatitis B. We're talking about the whooping cough.
Whooping cough. Okay. So how is it Kennedy's fault?
Well, if you don't vaccinate babies, right, which they're pushing to do now and stop, then the baby is vulnerable to said lack of vaccination. So the baby can now get something they couldn't have gotten because they're not vaccinated, something like the whooping cough. So now this can start to spread. Now there's only like 450 cases. It's not super widespread, but there's already 3 that are not here anymore. 3 unvaccinated babies that are not here anymore. And to say that one does not have anything to do with the other is a scary proposition for me. Those are MAGA facts that's going to cause many lives.
Wait a minute. So wait a minute. So you're saying babies not getting vaccinated is causing the increase of whooping cough, or it's just the fact that people won't listen to Kennedy and his recommendations that's going to cause this widespread disease?
I'm saying the fact that they're not vaccinated against it and on alive because of it looks like there might be something that we use in science called correlation. Wait, I'm not a science anymore. Looks like something like correlation. That's math. Oh, wait, I can't use science and math. It looks like they might be related.
I don't know about that. But yes, blame Kennedy if you want. But still, the mothers have right to choose. Remember that right to choose stuff? But I don't see the correlation on what Kennedy's doing and the increased whooping cough.
Right. I didn't come up with this. This is by doctors. I'm not a doctor. I am only listening to what medical experts have said, not, Kennedy. Anyway, that's it. This is where we're at in this episode. Please stay tuned. This conversation will continue. We're going to try and save lives. They're going to try and push conspiracy theories. And, if Tylenol is any example of what's to come, I'm afraid for America. Because that's crazy, bro. That's crazy. You're like, oh, well, just because they weren't unvaccinated and they didn't and they got the disease, don't
It's
mean
crazy how mandated vaccines now all of a sudden may be the cause of death in so many people. That's what's crazy. Mandatory vaccines. Without your vaccine card, you can't eat here, sir. Without your vaccine card, you can't get provide services here, sir. I'm sorry, but looks like we forced you to take it and it actually was harmful. That's what's dangerous, having government dictate to you how to maintain your health with their
How
systems.
many
And big
people do you
pharma.
think were saved by that vaccination?
How many people do I think was saved by vaccination?
Do you
I don't
remember in New
know.
York City
I
when
think it
people were
caused
dropping
more
dead
harm than
left and
good.
right? Do you remember when under Trump, people were dying left and right, which is why he did Operation Warp Speed in order to be able to create the vaccination? Do you remember all of that?
Yes, but he didn't mandate it because Joe Biden came into office and mandated it. And he didn't lock down the cities. He wanted the government to be open nationwide, but they forced him to keep the government closed, like here in New York, locked down where you can't go. You have to stay in your house. But the science, again, Leo, proved that the spread of COVID was number one in the home, not out in the street with open air. We have circulation and ventilation. That's common sense. Open your window when you're sick to get some fresh air, not stay with all the dirty, sick, polluted, diseased air in your apartment with 5 people on top of each other, breathing down each other's necks.
I do believe people were supposed to quarantine if they were sick, but facts and history.
Yes, and that hurt because the number one cause of spread of COVID was in the home. That's a fact. The media said it for like 2 seconds, and then poof, it was going.
Wait, so you mean to tell me that the number one spread of the disease was quarantine people that didn't have access to nobody else? That's what we're going with? Because that's what
No,
quarantine
no.
means?
Quarantine, no, quarantine, mandated quarantine where everybody had to stay home with each other. Now,
But if
isolation
someone was
quarantine
sick,
is
they had
something
to
else.
quarantine away from everybody else. You do understand and remember that, right? Just we're using
Yes, I
facts now.
do. But that's not what happened at the beginning with ventilators. Remember ventilators, Leo? That didn't work. That's why King Cuomo II lost his campaign because people were not voting for that guy again.
Thank
That's
God for
your mom's
that.
hand. Okay, that's mine. Okay.
Okay, well, if you're looking, please do the subscription thing. We will continue this banter. We're live every Sunday, 9 p.m. Dion, any closing statements?
Don't forget, family, we are the media and now so are you. So you can afford to pay attention. Don't just like and subscribe, share because we got to keep this going.
All right. This is Leon Dion signing out.